Hello students, I wanted to talk a little bit about speech anxiety and delivery. So first I'd like to apologize for the fact that the link that I sent for you to fill out your PRPSA, once you've done it, a day later you probably got an email from whoever owns that link saying, oh, you've got a little speech anxiety, let me sell you a product that will solve it. I thought it was great to find this electronic source because it saves you the burden of doing the arithmetic to calculate your PRPSA. But I was a little disappointed when the next day I get an ad saying, you've got speech anxiety and we can solve it. So sorry for that. People have said there are two kinds of people in the world, people who admit that they suffer speech anxiety and liars. So it is pretty much a universal phenomenon. There are some interesting relationships between the psychological state of being anxious and the physiological response to it. So certain things that happen is sometimes your shoulders kind of tense up, and then you might end up with shallower breathing. And then these things can have effects upon your voice, and your voice could start to crack because you're running out of air, etc. So one of the things you want to do when it comes to speech anxiety is figure out how much of it you have in the first place, and then what you might do to counteract it. So there's an interesting fact about the notion between a psychological state will cause physiological responses in your body. Well, it turns out that is a two-way street. So just as anxiety can cause you to tense up, flexing your muscles and exerting them will cause you to release anxiety. So as the chapter on delivery says, one of the things you might do if you have speech anxiety is get some rigorous exercise in the period before you deliver your speech. So if you have an opportunity to have, say, a 30-minute run or 30 minutes on an elliptical machine, that's going to do a couple things, including relaxing your full body. And then in the process of doing that kind of exercise, your body actually releases endorphins, which are sort of natural tranquilizers. So that's one thing that you can do. Let's say you are in a classroom setting and you know that you're going to give your speech as the third person. And so while you're waiting for person number one and person number two to give their presentations, what can you do? Well, here's a technique that some actors do, and it involves basically tensing their entire body systematically in the period before they're going to have to speak. Because once you have sort of exhausted the muscle's ability to be tense, then it cannot tense back up on its own involuntarily. So right now, unbeknownst to you, I am just flexing my feet like crazy, and so I just have them totally tensed. And I can do next, I can sort of flex my calf muscles and flex my thigh muscles. When I start flexing my neck muscles, you can probably see that something is going on there. But what you can do is proceed from your toes up to the top of your head, keeping muscle groups flexed, extremely flexed for about 10 seconds at a time, and then you let it go. And so, sure, your body can tense up again later on, but if you're doing that in the moments before you have to give your speech, the ability of your body to involuntarily tense up again is reduced somewhat because the muscles are sort of exhausted. And then the other possibility is that in doing this tensing exercise, what you have also done is release some of those endorphins into your bloodstream, which helps relax you. So those are a couple ideas about how you can deal with speech anxiety. And as the book says, one of the best ways is just to be prepared. So if you have prepared a good preparation outline for your speech and you have practiced it, then when it comes time to actually deliver it, most of the things that could interfere between you and an effective, positive presentation of your speech have been eliminated. So I hope this is helpful. Talk to you later.